Can you post a link in the chat, Chris?
Yeah. Little red bar is processing.
Can you post a link in?
All right, we are live, and the link is here. All right.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to YAM's weekly community call. As you might have heard, we are switching the time to 7 p.m. UTC starting from last week. So every Thursday, 7 p.m. UTC, we have our weekly YAM community update and call. Welcome. My name is Fedes. I'm in charge of marketing, or not marketing. I always do that. In charge of operations and the treasury. We'll be going through this call along with some other team members as well. Before we get started, is there anybody that's new to the call that would like to introduce themselves? I noticed Tom is new. If you'd like, you can feel free to introduce yourself. I see you unmuted yourself, but we can't hear you. Maybe a mic problem. So Tom, if you'd like to check your hardware or your yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey, sorry about that. Afternoon, everyone. My name's Tom. I've been in touch with some of the marketing team, so I'm here to see how I can lend a hand with that and just push the project forward.
Awesome. Welcome, Tom.
Thanks.
So you guys know we are YAM is a DAO, so it's a decentralized autonomous organization. Most of the members here are originally community members, so we're always welcome to new faces and people that are willing to help. We built the team is built off of the community, and we're all here to make YAM better. Okay. So let's go into first our governance, the boring stuff. We've got a couple of snapshots up on governance right now. YIP 5655, and for a couple of new team members that are specifically joining us for YAM Finance, and we've got Indigo. He's specifically working on the Degenerative V2 website. We've seen some of the wireframes along with Bloku. Bloku and Indigo are specifically working on the D2 Degen finance website, and they look fantastic. I got to see a couple of the wireframes. A lot of the pain points that you guys are currently running into with Degen Finance right now are going to be solved, and kind of make the UI UX interface much smoother and easier to use. We also have a longtime contributor, Jim, that would like to work full time. He's been a massive contributor to the YAM ecosystem, the YAM brand, the YAM brand pillars. He did our mission statement, and that mission statement still holds true today. And he's you could think of him as kind of the captain on a giant cruise ship. You don't see him often, but he's definitely there directing and making sure that the boat stays on the correct course. So moving forward, just if you guys get a chance, definitely vote on the snapshots. They end in the next couple of days. Generally speaking, we'll have all of our snapshots at least run through. It'll be a minimum of 3 days, and it will run through Thursday for our community calls. As you know, there are no gas costs for snapshots, so just make sure you register on yam.finance/governance. On-chain proposals, nothing right now. There is coming up the UMA rewards distribution for the month of February all the way to the March 7th, and also migrating the UGAS liquidity from the March contract to the new contract that's coming up, the UGAS June, which is actually going to be a quarterly contract. So it's less migrations. You don't have to migrate every month, and it will be easier for the on-chain proposals as well as some UStonks liquidity provisioning. What that is we'll go into that in just a second further below. All right, so let's start with DGen finance updates. V2 website, we're slated in April. We'll update you as we move along. Bloku and Indigo are already working on it. They've been working on it for the last couple of weeks. It's looking up pretty good, and we're making sure that we've got all of our functions and everything that we need in there. The goal of the V2 website is really to be the premier host of UMA synthetics, so that you can get all the different UMA synthetics in one place. If you've looked at SushiSwap or Uniswap, they host all the different tokens, and anybody can come in there and use the interface to access those synthetics, or in that case, those liquidity pools. In our case, it will be the synthetics. So we're working on it. It's going to be awesome. Like I said earlier, it's going to make a lot of the pain points easier to use. So moving on, synthetics. So we have a snapshot that passed last week that increased the rewards for the upcoming UStonks and UGAS June 21. So we are launching UStonks on March 8th on Degenerative's website. With that launch comes a lot of press, media, marketing, as well as additional rewards. The rewards are pretty significant. This is we're looking at about 400 to 800% APY at 1 million in minted synths for UStonks. We're throwing on top of UMA rewards. So there's actually a couple of different rewards that's happening. So on March 8th, for the first week, we've got the regular UMA rewards that you're normally getting. So if you've minted an LP UGAS, those rewards are coming out in just a couple of days. But those continue to UStonks as well. So you've got that first level, that base level of UMA rewards that will go throughout the existence of UStonks or until UMA says so. So they're lasting for a long time. But when we launch on March 8th, we have a second layer of rewards, which is additional UMA rewards. For the first 3 weeks, week 1, UMA is allocating an additional 5,000 tokens specifically for UStonks to mint and LP. Week 2 and 3, they're upping it to 10,000 UMA for each of those weeks for week 2 and week 3. So for the first 3 weeks, we're looking at 25,000 additional UMA rewards for minting and LP UStonks. On top of that, the third layer is that we're adding YAM rewards on top of the UMA rewards, and we're matching the UMA rewards token per token. So there will be additional 25,000 YAM tokens for minting and LP in the first 3 weeks after the March 8th launch. So if you're not sure how to do that, you're not sure how to mint an LP, let us know. Come chat with us, but you definitely want to get ready for that. It's going to be a pretty significant amount of APY. And the reason for this is to bootstrap the UStonks market. 1 million synths should be super easy for us. It should be much, much higher than that. So along with that, we've also are going to be launching the UGAS June contracts on the 8th or before. The UGAS June contract is a quarterly contract expiration. So it still expires on the last 30-day median gas price on Ethereum's network. So if it's available, let's say it's available today, it still expires way down into June. So right now you can still speculate on what you think it will expire to. So the price can go up and go down, but ultimately it will expire at the end, the last day of June. So the reason why we're doing the quarterly is so that we can pool all the liquidity instead of having each separate month, May, June, April, May, June, July, UGAS contracts. We just have one for June. We're giving this a try to see how it goes. Hopefully it adds all the liquidity together, and that way you don't have to unstake your LP and then unwind your minted position to switch to the new month, which, as we know, costs a lot of gas. And the point of UGAS is to hedge your gas costs, not spend more gas costs. So we are planning on launching on the 8th, same as UStonks. We will be also offering additional YAM rewards, the 25,000, similar to the UStonks, but there will be no additional UMA rewards, just the regular 30 to 40% APY rewards on top. So there'll still be the UMA rewards plus YAM rewards. You're looking at anywhere between 250% to 500% APY at 2 million minted cents. So the cool thing about this is that you can start minting and LPing on the 8th and keep it going until the end of the contract, which is June 21st. So you've got plenty of time to accrue those rewards. You don't have to move it around. You do have to watch out for your impermanent loss risk and also your liquidation risk. So that is two very important things that you need to keep an eye on. If you have questions about how to keep an eye on those and how to make sure manage your collateral and your SINs, let us know, because we definitely do not want you to get liquidated. See,
yeah, just fellas, just to chip in and really kind of highlight the relevance of these changes. Obviously, the minters or the people, the investors who mint an LP are the backbone of the creation of SINs. And by all these changes, we obviously make it so much easier for them to get involved. And secondly, they will also generate transaction fees from these pools. And so whatever is going to happen in the Uniswap pools where these UStonks and UGAS tokens are traded, all of those transaction fees that will, increase with more trading velocity will also flow to these minters / LPers and thus increase the APR even more.
Yep. So you've got the rewards, but you've also got the AMM liquidity pool fees potentially, which all will help in increasing the financial rewards to mint SINs. So the point of all this is to make sure that we create a vibrant ecosystem within Degenerative Finance on the synthetics. We've got a lot more cool ones coming up. These two are kind of the first launch for Degenerative Finance to figure out, to fine tune how we're going to do this in the future. We're also thinking of additional rewards on top of UMA after these 3 weeks, initial three weeks of elevated rewards. And we're going to figure that out by kind of seeing how this goes. So if you guys have feedback on how it went, if you've done any UGAS contracts in the past, how that went, let us know. We do know that there are quite a few pain points in the current interface, but we know how to get around those. We know how to manage those. Let us know. And V2 will make those things a lot easier. Any questions for anybody? Any chat items that I've missed? All right. Any other questions at the moment?
No, I just wanted to also just to reiterate another point that around the impermanent loss, obviously it came up. The cool thing about these synthetics that we're producing is that normally they should be mean reverting, meaning over a short period, like 1 month, such as in February, you might see UGAS prices going up, right? But normally those things come back down. They're not governance tokens or Bitcoin that typically are very directional, that move in very drawn out cycles other than just short spikes, right? But things like the volatility index for BTC, things like UGAS, they go up, of course, but they also go down. And so ideally what's going to happen with the quarterly contract or the quarterly token is that, of course, it goes up, over a month, but then hopefully it comes back down so that for the liquidity provider / minter, ideally that will be a very small concern because the probability of UGAS going from 50 to 5,000 is very unlikely.
Totally. This is it's definitely, especially the last month where gas just started off low and then just kept going up the whole month. There was a significant amount of, I mean, it's not significant in terms of the whole system, but there, as far as impermanent loss goes, last month was bad for February's contract. Looking forward, hopefully it's not going to be that bad, especially with all the L2 and other things that are coming online shortly on Ethereum's network. So yeah, if it goes up and down, then you're actually gaining more in terms of the AMM pool fees. So moving forward, if you guys have any questions, let us know. As far as other synths, still in the works of BTC Vol, APY Vision Synth, UGAS February, just to let you know, you can settle it now. It is a two-step process. You first approve the EMP contract and then you settle after that. If you have any questions, let us know. Essentially, if you have a minted position on February for the UGAS February contract, you just go ahead and settle it. Whatever UGAS, well, make sure you unwind your LP first before you settle it. Otherwise, it wouldn't work properly. But once you unwind your LP and you have UGAS tokens in your wallet, hit settle. It doesn't matter if you've got 5 UGAS tokens, you minted 5 and you've got 5. You could have minted 5 and you could have 4 because of impermanent loss. You could have minted 5 and bought 20 more and have a total of 25. As long as you settle using the interface degenerative.finance, it will take all the tokens inside of it and return to you the value of ETH that those number of tokens is worth. So if in this case, I think it's settled around 0.15 ETH per UGAS February token. It will take all your tokens, give you 0.15 ETH for each of those. If you have a minted position that, if you had a collateralized position where you minted tokens and you still have collateral inside the February contract, it will return that collateral for you. So it'll just settle everything and then you don't have to worry about it ever again. And then you can take that ETH and put it into UGAS June. Any questions on that? It's actually a pretty simple process. You just have to approve and then settle. All right, moving forward, YAM is available as collateral on UMA's platform. Ross did some excellent work here and got us approved as the token. YAM tokens are allowed to be used as collateral on UMA's platform. So if there's somebody that wants to build a synthetic using YAM as a collateral, they're welcome to. And we're waiting on a perpetual stablecoin contract to create kind of a YAM dollar where you can stake, collateralize your YAM and mint dollars as you can on something like MakerDAO system. Eventually going to do the add the YAM ETH Sushi LP tokens as collateral as well. All right, any questions with Degenerative? Anything that I missed, team? We've got a bunch of marketing stuff later down in this call, but that's it for degenerative.finance. DAO House. All right, we've got some exciting announcements for DAO House. And as you guys know, we have our YAM House portfolio set up on token sets. We have, of course, our Krugman managing as a portfolio manager, managing the YAM House. We are also proposing to Sushi to create a sushi house for them. So we've spoken to Maki and a few other key personnel to see their interest, and they love the idea. If you haven't taken a look at Sushi's treasury, it's got a lot of money in there. It's got almost 280 million USD and or $280 million worth of Sushi tokens inside their treasury, which is awesome. They'll have money for years as long as they figure out a way to manage it, which is where Sushi House comes in. You don't want wealth management was my background in previous to crypto, and the biggest thing with anybody or any organization, foundation that has a lot of money is that you want to make sure that we want to make sure that you're minimizing the risk of that portfolio. and having everything in one asset is very risky. It's what we call systemic risk, where one event can easily wipe out your entire portfolio, and that's what you want to avoid. So we've got a really nice proposal that we're working on along with DeFi Pulse Index to get to Sushi for them to approve through their governance process. And that should be up on the forums in the next couple of days. In addition to that, Sushi House is just a start. We've got quite a few more business development opportunities with different DAOs, including Elastic DAO, Aragon, Index Coop, Ocean Protocol, Kyber. We are looking for help in terms of for DAO House. So if you do have a background in wealth management, specifically statistical analysis of portfolios, we could really use your help. There's just since Sushi House or DAO House is primarily a custom solution for different treasuries, because every treasury is different. Sushi's treasury is different from Yam's treasury, et cetera, et cetera. We need some tools and some manpower to help analyze these treasuries and figure out what's best. If you've been in the crypto market, if you've been in crypto long enough, you know that these things move in cycles. We had our last cycle 4 or 5 years ago. We're going through our current bull cycle, and what ultimately comes with the bull cycle is unfortunately a bear cycle. So it is important for these DAOs and these treasuries to make sure that they diversify. It's a great, it's huge importance. Any other questions with DAO House? I know somebody's pinging. So any questions with DAO House? Anything anybody on the team would like to add? All right, moving forward. So Nonstop Theo, I'll let you take over for the Umbrella protocol update.
Umbrella, we posted the audit report. It's available on GitHub as linked in that document. There were a few recommendations. They're being implemented as we speak. Contracts are being deployed over the next days. And so we can hook up those contracts with the UI. The idea is to really start with one pool to make sure we get people's attention focused on one product, right? We don't want to have the risk of getting people confused about what to do. So we're going to keep it very simple. We're going to have one product. It's going to be most likely an UMA synth insurance against smart contract hacks, bugs, exploits. And yeah, so we're going to, so one part of the team is putting the tech into place. So we're going to be up and running. And then the other part of the team will effectively create marketing materials, information documents. We have to prepare the documentation for the website itself. So we're really going with much more speed towards bringing Umbrella to the market, which I think is also something that the community is very eager on. And yeah, so things are going. It's now beginning of March. We definitely want to accelerate that and have it ready as soon as possible. But it will take the next couple of days and weeks. But yeah, looking forward to getting it online.
All right, thank you, Theo. Just a quick update on the Treasury. The Treasury changed from last week. It could have been different by now, but a couple hours ago, it was nearly at 6 million, up from 5.9 million. And that's not including additional Sushi vested. Let's see, let's go bring it to Bruce, designer, and Theo for media marketing. Got some awesome graphics for you.
Hey, everybody. We're kicking off our Ustonks campaign, an awareness campaign for the Ustonks launch early next week. Our goal is to promote the high APR for Ustonks with all the extra UMA and YAM rewards. And we also want to create documentation to help make Ustonks easy to use and interact with. We also have some bonus rewards for the early Ustonk Mint and LPers. We're going to announce these bonus rewards shortly. They're going to be a surprise. We just launched today and yesterday an in-depth Medium post and tweet thread on DAOhouse, our first treasury management solution designed just for DAOs. Please dive in and read it, share it if you haven't yet. DAOhouse offers customized treasury management solutions that can meet every DAO's needs and investment goals. It's very awesome. We also, if you scroll down, we also just completed the our UGAS logo design contest. Congratulations, Asian DeFi girl, for this winning entry. We're about to kick off our next contest, a DeFi stocks giveaway to the best tweet about DAOhouse, Ustonks, or UGAS. Each DeFi stock is worth about 1 ETH. So get creative and tweet about our YAM products. Jim or Theo, Chris, do you guys want to dive into?
It's probably worth mentioning that there is obviously a lot of stuff going on, some of it exposed to the community, but there's also just a lot of work going on in general. And so we're in discussions this week with a couple different people who want to help out with marketing specifically and branding. So we talked with James this morning, who could probably help out with what he calls distribution, and that's acquisition through media channels. And then right after this call, we'll be talking with Tom, who's on this call, because Tom has an interest in taking some high-level brand manager and bring his experience to help. There's really 2 categories that you can think of that are going on in the marketing and branding realm. So there's the YAM brand, and gaining 2 things for YAM brand. The ability for people to have one idea of what YAM is about. Right now, it's still fragmented. So that's one strong effort we're going to be moving forward. And the other is just awareness. And that awareness has to do with outreach, but also has to do with the YAM website, for instance, reflecting the being the best way for people to come and understand the big ecosystem of YAM and what YAM stands for. So those are a little bit longer projects. And then the other side of branding is the marketing side. And that's the marketing of the individual products that are coming out. So we're also going to be ramping up our sophistication around that. However, I think that some of the latest efforts have been really fantastic. And YAM, I think, is just known for doing incredible graphics and engaging the audience. We just need to reach that out and go further and wider so we can continue to add more value to the YAM ecosystem.
Just tagging onto that. So we are obviously, we are a DAO. We're a decentralized autonomous organization. That means that the work and the efforts, everything we're doing is ultimately coming from the community. As Fetis mentioned, most of the people here, even on this call, started out just as community members who wanted to contribute, and then got deeper and deeper and putting in more and more work, and ultimately became contributors, either full-time or part-time. And as the range of products that YAM has under its belt continues to grow, and the complexity of those products grow, the needs of our team needs are going to continue to grow, and team roles are going to shift, and things are just going to they're in flux, right? Crypto is always changing. We're just seeing this massive, incredibly rapid pace of innovation in our industry right now, and In the same way, if YAM is going to keep up, we're going to see lots of innovation and changing and iteration happening in terms of our team. So, if you are interested in becoming more involved, if you have a skill set you think is could add value, or if you're looking to learn, right, and you're just looking for a way to get involved, reach out, because we're looking. Specifically, I would say, if you have an interest in community management, that's something that we're interested in finding someone to take a more active role in right now as well. So if that's you, reach out to us. If you are a designer, we have lots of design needs coming up. UI design, marketing graphics design, prints, motion graphics, all kinds of stuff, right? Way more than just one or even two or three people can handle on their own. So, there are needs. It's, it's really just make of it it is what you make it, right? And so I'd highly encourage people who have an interest to reach out to us. And then the other thing is, now that we have some of these updates coming through, like the degenerative websites v2 coming through, we're going to be ramping up a lot of our materials as well. Now that things will be a little less V1 MVP style. And then on top of that, Jeremy and I are going to be working on kicking out an updated roadmap for everybody, basically to try and cover the next 2 quarters, just to give the community a better idea of what's coming down the pipe, where we're at with our current developments, that kind of thing, just so it's easier for people to contextualize what's going on in progress, that sort of thing.
Awesome.
And then,
Theo, go ahead.
yeah, and then just a last comment on dashboards and things like Dune. So we're making great progress with the Dune dashboard. It's still in the process of being cleaned up a little bit, but it's done by a community member. And it starts generating great data-driven insights into the various products. We're also obviously going to get Ustongs and UGAS onto CoinGecko. We're just waiting for the contracts to be deployed, for the pools to be up and running, and then watch out for the various degenerative finance products on CoinGecko.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got, if you guys can tell, we've got a lot of things coming up, a lot of things in the works, multiple kind of directions that we're going into. And Chris said it right, where we could use some help. If you have something in particular that you guys want to pitch in on, that you'd like to see, that you like to work on, let us know. It's definitely growing. There are definitely a lot of really, really interesting, useful DeFi primitives that are coming up. That as this space grows, it's important for everybody to kind of work together. And we've got a lot of potential collaborations and things in the works. So with that being said, any other marketing media stuff from the team? All right, so we got some good time for any community questions or comments. Tom, if you wanted to add anything or ask anything, feel free to.
Yeah, no, I don't want to take up the whole group's time, but certainly going to touch base with the marketing team on a one-off conversation after this. But definitely excited about the concept of working on what is YAM as a whole. What are the benefits to the token holder or the coin holder, and then to the DeFi ecosystem as a whole, and then just pumping out awareness on each of the crazy amount of projects going on underneath the YAM ecosystem. So I'm stoked.
Awesome. We're happy to have you, and we look forward to working with you. Anything else anybody would like to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch back on DAO House. I think this is a really powerful tool for DAO treasury management, and I'm gonna just explain a little bit of why with the game theory here. What we have at our disposal here is basically these treasuries are massive, and you know, we're in a bull market right now. It's wonderful, but as Feta said, we're here trying to manage systemic risk. And what's going to happen now is that if we get multiple DAOs and their treasuries sort of on board with some of these things, it looks bad when they go and market dump their own tokens, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't do a swap with another DAO, like an OTC trade. And so we're not looking for VC investments anymore. YAM is the VC of DAOs. So we're going to be able to do swaps between treasuries. So if we get Sushi on board and there's you know, Sushi swaps with YAM, or we swap with maybe do a Uniswap or something else like that. Whichever, if we're looking for some of these smaller sort of venture type things, we can get into that. So there's lots of opportunity here that is completely untapped, and I just think this is really amazing. And you could even have what could be seen as two different DAOs that are seen as competitors do a token swap with each other, and then now they're cooperative, because now it's in both their interest to increase the value of each other's tokens. So you really get this more like DAOhouse is very much it's a communal sort of mechanism for getting a bunch of different DAOs to work with their treasuries to basically support everybody and support the ecosystem as a whole. So I just think it's really, really powerful and really cool.
Yeah, this is something that I'm personally very excited about. Thank you, Hodl. So just to reiterate and build off of Hodl, what Hodl just said, it is a very powerful tool, and the problem that I see in DeFi and you know, projects building all these protocols and teams is that nobody wants to deal with the treasury. Nobody wants to. Number one, nobody wants to be in charge of it, because if they screw up something or they sell something, or you know, that they shouldn't have, you know, nobody wants to be in charge of $250 million worth of sushi tokens for the use of Sushi protocol. Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody knows what to do with it. A lot of people that are in this space are not wealth managers. They are coders, developers. They're very good business people. They're very good product people. They're very good technical people, but none of those are wealth managers, and none of those really know how to manage risk. You know, I remember when we were first starting to do our own treasury management, this is where DAOhouse came out of, was doing it for ourselves. When we first started trying to do it, a lot of the community members were like, you should just buy this XYZ token that's got 10 million market cap because it's a great product. And it's like, if you want to buy it yourself, that's totally cool, and that's 100% okay. And you'll probably make a pretty penny off of it, especially if you bought it a few months ago, if you didn't get rugged. But that's not the right solution for a treasury that's supposed to support a protocol for years, hopefully. And if any of these DAOs teams are serious about building a protocol through the next bear cycle into possibly the next bull cycle, you want to think about this. And what better way to do it than to call up YAM and say, hey, we're interested. What do we need to do? And what DAOhouse does is it leads you through the entire process. It builds a system for you that can be managed, that can be secure. The DAOhouse assets are never out of your custody. So Krugman doesn't have custody of those assets, nor would he want to. But the treasury, our own treasury, has the custody of those assets. But Krugman can go and adjust it according to what the DAO's wishes. So extremely powerful product, super useful. It's perfect for this kind of market, and I believe we're kind of one of the first to do this. So as we move forward, we definitely could use some help. Long story short. All right, so I could keep going on for a while on DAO House, but I'm gonna, if you guys have questions, feel free to ping me on Discord. Otherwise, any other comments from the community or the team?
Also, just adding in, if you happen to be watching this now or later, and you are a DAO, your DAO has a treasury. You guys are wondering, how do we mitigate risk? How do we put it to work? How do we do it in a community-driven, decentralized way, a way that is, responsive? That's a huge thing, right? It's like DAOs are slow, like they're so slow, and the market moves fast, right? So that's something that DAO House helps to address as well. But if that is you, reach out to Fedus on our Discord, email him, fedus@yam.finance. And let's start a conversation going, even if you just want information, even if you just want to learn a bit more about how it works, get into the weeds, we're happy to walk you through it. But that is your point of contact. Reach out to Fedus.
Yep. Perfect. Any other comments? Thank you, Chris. All right, so we'll just wrap it up here.
So I just wanted to mention that we were going to stay on this channel. Chris, is that correct? We're going to stay on this channel to have a discussion with Tom?
Yeah, but I'm gonna